Something huge crossed the highway in front of me, but the dashcam recorded nothing. I don't brake right away. That's the part that bothers me most when I replay it in my head. My foot lifts from the accelerator, yes. My hands tighten on the wheel, but I don't slam the brakes, don't swerve, don't shout. For a second or two, I simply keep driving, watching the space ahead of my headlights as if waiting for the moment to catch up with what I've just seen. Because my brain refuses to accept it. The highway is empty in both directions, a long black corridor bordered by pine and scrub, the reflective lane markers ticking past in steady rhythm. The dash hums softly. The engine's vibration is familiar, comforting. The air coming through the vents smells faintly of dust and old upholstery. It's nearly 1:40 a.m. I've been on this stretch of road for almost an hour, and I know it well. It's a forgotten connector between two larger routes, rarely patrolled, rarely traveled at night. No towns, no gas stations, just trees and asphalt and the low, endless hiss of tires. Which is why I'm alert. I don't drive tired. I don't push past my limits. I pulled over earlier to stretch, drank half a bottle of water, ran through a mental checklist before getting back on the road. I'm not hallucinating from exhaustion. I'm not drifting. So when something moves across the highway 20 yards ahead of me, I see it clearly. Not sharply, not in detail, but unmistakably. It rises from the right shoulder and passes through the beam of my headlights in a single smooth motion. It's tall, taller than the roof of my car, and wide enough that it briefly erases both lanes at once. Its shape is wrong for any animal I know. Too elongated, too continuous. There's no distinct head, no clear limbs, just a dark, seamless mass that bends as it moves, like fabric under tension. It doesn't run, crosses. Then it's gone, swallowed by the trees on the left. That's when I slow to a crawl and pull onto the shoulder. My heart is pounding now, hard enough that I can feel it in my throat. I put the car in park and sit there with my hands on the wheel, staring into the forest where it disappeared. Nothing moves. No snapping branches. No rustling leaves. The woods are silent in that way they get late at night, when even insects seem to hold their breath. I tell myself it was a trick of light. Mist, maybe. A shadow cast by uneven ground. A deer caught at an odd angle. Its body blurred by speed and adrenaline. The explanations come easily. They always do. I take out my phone and open the dashcam app. The camera has been recording since I left the last town. Continuous loop, front-facing, wide angle. I scrub back 30 seconds and let the footage play. The road glides toward me, empty and unremarkable. Headlights illuminate the lane markers. Trees slide by in dark walls on either side. Nothing crosses. I rewind and watch again. Still nothing. I lean closer to the screen, as if proximity might reveal something hidden. I adjust the playback speed. Frame by frame, I watch the exact stretch of highway where it happened. There's no interruption, no shadow, no distortion, just road. I sit back and exhale slowly. Okay, that's important. Dashcams don't lie. They don't get startled. They don't interpret. They record photons and angles and contrast. If something crossed in front of me, it should be there, which means whatever I thought I saw wasn't real. That should be the end of it. I tell myself this and pull back onto the highway. For the next several miles, I keep my speed conservative and my eyes locked on the road. Every flicker of reflected light makes my muscles tense. Every bend in the trees feels charged with potential. The radio cycles through static and distant voices. I leave it on low volume. Silence feels dangerous now. The forest presses close. The darkness beyond my headlights feels thick, almost textured, as if the light is being absorbed instead of reflected. I start noticing details I usually ignore. The way the fog gathers in shallow dips along the shoulder, the subtle variations in the pavement, the way the road seems to slope downward even when it doesn't. I keep checking my mirrors. Nothing follows. 10 minutes pass, then 20. My breathing settles. My grip on the wheel loosens. The rational part of my brain reasserts itself. I start replaying the moment with clinical detachment, breaking it down into components. peripheral motion, high contrast, fatigue combined with monotony. Classic false perception. I'm almost convincing myself when the dashcam beeps. It's a soft notification sound, the one it makes when it flags an event. Heartbreaking. Sudden swerves, unexpected vibration. I glance at the screen mounted near the windshield. No alert message appears. Just a brief flicker. The image on the display blurs for half a second, then stabilizes. My stomach tightens. I check the app again. The recording is still running. The timestamp is current. Everything looks normal. Still, I save a manual clip marking the moment. The road ahead remains empty. Another mile passes. Then I notice something off about the headlights. Not their brightness, their reach. The beam seems shorter, as if the darkness is pushing back against it. The reflective markers on the asphalt appear later than they should, materializing only when I'm nearly on top of them. The trees feel closer, leaning inward, their branches knitting together above the road. I slow down without meaning to. The radio dissolves into static again. Stay focused, I tell myself aloud. My voice sounds small inside the car. The dashcam beeps a second time. This time the screen doesn't recover right away. The live feed stutters, freezing on a frame of empty highway. A thin band of digital noise crawls across the image before it snaps back into motion. I pull over again. This shoulder is narrower, the gravel uneven beneath my tires. I leave the engine running and open the app, scrubbing back to the first glitch. The footage is intact. There's no record of the flicker, no visual artifact, just a smooth, uninterrupted drive through darkness. I scroll farther back to the original incident. I watch the moment over and over, slowing it down, magnifying the image, adjusting contrast. Nothing crosses the road, but something changes. The exposure drops for exactly 2 frames. Subtle enough that I might have missed it if I hadn't been looking for anomalies. For a fraction of a second, the entire image darkens, as if the camera briefly forgot how to measure light. Then it returns to normal. That's it. 2 frames. I sit there with my phone in my hand, listening to my engine idle, feeling a thin line of unease settle into my spine. Cameras don't forget how to see. I drive on. The highway begins to feel unfamiliar. The curves don't match my memory. The mile markers seem spaced too far apart. My GPS still shows a single continuous route, but the estimated arrival time starts fluctuating, jumping forward and back by several minutes at random. The dashcam glitches more frequently now. Always the same way. A brief dip in exposure, a faint tremor in the image, then normalcy. Each time it happens, I feel a pressure change in my ears, like descending in an airplane. I start to realize that the road sounds are changing too. The tire noise has softened, losing its sharp edge. The engine's pitch wavers, as if it's being filtered through something thick. And beneath it all, barely perceptible, there's a low, slow rhythm that doesn't match any mechanical cycle. Feels like breathing. I don't want to think that. I keep my eyes forward. The next time it happens, I see it more clearly. Not in front of me, beside me, a distortion in the air to my right, as if the darkness itself is folding. The trees blur along a vertical seam, and something vast presses through that space, moving parallel to my car. I don't turn my head. I stare straight ahead, hands locked on the wheel, every nerve screaming at me to acknowledge it. The dashcam screen goes black. Not powered off. Black. My phone vibrates in my hand as the app disconnects. The pressure in my ears spikes. The headlights dim, then flare, then dim again. The road feels wrong beneath my tires, less like pavement and more like something soft pretending to be solid. I finally understand why the camera sees nothing. It isn't failing. It's being excluded. Whatever is out there doesn't pass through the visible spectrum the way solid objects do. It doesn't reflect light consistently. It doesn't exist cleanly inside frames and sensors and compression algorithms. It occupies the spaces between measurements. The dashcam records absence because absence is all it's allowed to see. My own eyes are different. They're analog, imperfect, easily fooled. which makes them usable. The realization lands with quiet certainty. It didn't cross the highway in front of me. It joined me. The pressure inside the car increases, like the cabin is being gently compressed. The air feels heavier, harder to draw into my lungs. My rearview mirror clouds over, not with fog, but with something darker, as if depth itself is filling in. I don't stop. I don't reach for my phone. I keep driving, following the faint twin lines of the road, pretending I don't feel the immense presence matching my speed, pretending I don't sense its attention folding inward around me.